Greetings, I'm Demonac, and it's arena time. Alright, I managed to lose my first game with the Mage deck here. Now, hopefully we get an opponent I can win against, because I don't want to be 0-2 if I can avoid it. So there are pluses and minuses to this deck, like most arena decks. Having 2 Flame Strikes, 2 Cone of Coals, 2 Polymorphs, that's a lot of removal. I just have to have good enough minions to get through. If I recall that first game, I just didn't get... I had a slow starting hand, and my opponent had a... Not even that slow a starting hand, but I had not a fast starting hand, and my opponent did have one, and they were able to just keep me down. I don't want Arcane Intellect in my starting hand. It's only 3 mana, but I'm not doing anything that turn. So I'm going to get rid of those and hope I can get some cheaper cards, because I do have a lot of 2 and 3, especially 3 cost cards in here. Yeah, Rivercroc is good for starters. It's much better to play him first before this. And that could be handy too. We'll see. No first move though. My first move is always to squelch my opponent because, I don't know, I'm antisocial or something. And I'm a loner. I don't really care what my opponent has to emote. It doesn't have the emotes I want anyway. Primarily the that's bullshit / that was lucky emote, which would be very useful. Okay, so he's got her. She's very good to buff, because the bubble helps protect your investment, right? If you're putting some +1/+1 on her or something, but she's not going to outfight my Rivercroc without quite a bit of buffing. Now, I could have shot off the bubble instead, but I think this thing is a lot stronger than just shooting the bubble. Because I have to get him out first, so that he has a chance to attack later. Against a priest, they don't have as many cheap damage-dealing spells to kill this with. There's Smite, which they may or may not play. It's just 2 damage, so it would still take her bubble to get rid of him. And then they have the one that destroys any creature with attack 2 or less. Well, I gotta get them out of his hand, because it's bad. But there's that stupid ghoul again. Those things are not my friend. So I am going to use this guy to get rid of it, definitely. I mean, I could play him. I could play her, but I don't get to use her ability right away. Otherwise, she'd be, like, one of the top minions out there, I'm guessing. Because I could go her and then this. That would be insane, but no. She only works on the first minion you play each turn, which, if you played her, she counts as a minion. So the next one can't be the first. But, yeah. So my choices are to attack the ghoul and then shoot it, or play this first, give +1 attack to him, and attack the ghoul. And I think I'm going to do that because, as much as the fireball is pretty much free, this way I end up with one more thing in play. Which will be good because either way, she's going to kill him. Unless my opponent has a Shadow Madness, I'm just going to coin and use my creatures to kill each other, which would be really bad. It's an epic card, but hopefully it doesn't have it. It's the Mirror Entity. We're a little early in the game for that, I think. I could shoot her and play something else, but I think I would rather kill her and get out the Water Elemental. She only does her thing once per turn. It's not going to make I'm not going to be able to play that much more stuff next turn. I'm better off getting the Water Elemental out now. Taking 1 damage on this doesn't seem like that big a deal, because I know priests don't have any spells that deal 1 damage. No, if you know what the other classes can do, that's good. They have Smite, which deals 2 damage for 1 mana. They have Shadow Word Pain, which destroys any minion with attack 2 or less. There's no damage involved. They have Holy Nova, which does 2 damage to all enemy minions. And they have Shadow Word Death. See, Inner Fire, spell you use first, changes a minion's attack to be equal to its health. It's a really flexible card, right? Because you could use it on this and reduce its attack. That's normally what you do, although you'd use it on something bigger than that. But still, you normally use it to reduce a minion's attack. But I mean, you could, if this was his Acolyte of Pain, he could play that and give the Acolyte of Pain +2 attack, or He gave my guy a boost to attack, which is weird, but it's because Shadow Word Death destroys any minion with attack 5 or more. My guy had less than 5 attack, but by increasing it, he suddenly became vulnerable to that spell. So, pretty reasonable.
What to do?
Let's see. So my opponent has not played a lot of fast creatures. I think I want to play the Mirror Entity now. He has no minions in play. I'm going to have a couple. Now, here's the question. Do I want to play the Pint-Sized Summoner or not? If I play her, then he could kill both of my things with Holy Nova. It would still take his whole turn. He might not want it. He might want to because he can't cast a minion anyway. I've got to put it out anyway. If he has Holy Nova, again, it's like 5 mana, deal 2 damage to all enemy things, and heal 2 to all friendly things, which is a very good, strong spell, and it is a common priest spell, so he's fairly likely to have it in the arena. But if he had that, I'd be better off getting him to use it somehow. The Thought Steal is a little scary, because now 2 of the cards in his hand are copies of cards in my deck. It doesn't actually take them out of my deck, but they're still copies. He could have an Arcane Intellect, he could have 2 Flame Strikes, or a Flame Strike and a Cone of Cold, or just any combination of cards, of 2 cards from my deck. So that is a little frightening. Well, let's see. I can hit him for a whole bunch of damage now. He's been healing so far, but...
Coming through.
I don't think this ability is going to help me too much this turn. I mean, I could use it to play the Stormwind Knight, play it next to the Direwolf, and hit for another 3, and still Arcane Intellect, and that's very good. Or I could play him and him. Now, you know what? If I'm going to do that, I'm better off doing the Arcane Intellect. I can play him and shoot him later. Yeah, let's do this. Well, thing is, that's using the surprise value, right? If he has surprise value, he's not as good for that. I'm going to do that anyway because it uses my mana better. I'm going to do the attacking before the card drawing because card drawing is a little bit slow. And you notice the timer's still going down while it's drawing cards, so you can run yourself out of time that way. If you're playing a deck that has, if you have a combo that draws a lot of cards, like priests have some, hunters have some that draw a whole bunch of cards, you got to be careful about doing it earlier in your turn so that it doesn't waste all your time. Oh, that's pretty good. He cast a big minion, and my Mirror Entity stole a copy. And he doesn't have enough mana left to kill it, even if he has a Shadow Word Pain. Plus this guy, he's again the one, I can shoot him and make him bigger. Or he can play Silence, which is free card, and it's going to stop me from doing obnoxious things there. Boo. Fair enough. Okay. I want to do 7 damage to that guy. A couple things I can do. I could just kill it with Fireball and a shot, and that leaves all my minions alive. Fireball is a pretty valuable card. It'd be nice to keep it. Oh, I know what to do. You gotta remember that the adjacent +1, like +1 attack to adjacent minions, you gotta remember that adjacent stuff changes every time your position changes, right? So check this out. I can go Bluegill Warrior, put him in between there. He gets +1 attack. Then when he dies, my formation collapses back together. Now she has +1 attack.
Coming through.
I'm going to lose her ability, but it's worth it. Now he has +1 attack, which I can still use this turn, but I also, because of the way I did it, now I can just shoot that thing. And we're going to go smash, smash, smash. And I'm going to try and play the Raging Warden. Since my opponent has nothing out to attack him with, a Holy Nova would get rid of this guy, but it actually wouldn't kill any of my other stuff. And, in fact, it would trigger his Enrage, which would make him even more dangerous. But if nothing happens to him, I can just shoot him on my turn, and then he'll be able to hit for 8 damage. So this priest is going to have a hard time not dying next turn. Between that and the Fireball, it's actually probably game over, unless he has something mind-bogglingly special he can do. Lightwell is a pretty interesting card. It's a very good stalling card early in the game. It's a little bit late for it now. Because it won't do anything right away. At the beginning of his turn, it restores 3 health to any damage-friendly character, including itself, including his hero. But it's got to live to the beginning of his turn for that. And he doesn't have anything with taunt. So here's where we start doing the killing him math, right? So right away I've got 8, and if I shoot him, he'll also do 8. 16 damage. It's not even remotely close. Boom. Okay. So it felt like he had a slow deck, but look at those. He had the Lightwell, would have been a great card early on to buy him some time. The Worgen might have been useful early on, so he probably just got what I got the first game. He just had like a slow draw. Alright, let's go again. Like I said though, I find if you lose your first game, you're very likely to win your second game. That's it, because at the very least you have a good chance, because the matchmaking should find you someone else who lost all their games so far. Now I have not lost all my games so far, so that's out the window. It's going to be back to normal. And it is a mirror match against a mage. Literally a mirror match, because I have mirror entity in my hand. So this is not a very expensive card, but again, I like it later in the game, because as you saw there's a better chance of getting a big fat minion. Plus, if I get rid of this, there's a better chance I'll get one of the... I don't have too many, but I could get one of the spells like Mirror Image that I could use to boost the Mana Worm. I only have one Mirror Image, so odds were slim. The secrets are still spells. Pretty much everything is a spell, except for minions. Well, we're going to play this anyway. It's possible that she'll waste a bunch of extra effort trying to kill it, because she knows how dangerous these things can be, but... mine's probably not going to do anything special this game, because I just don't have that kind of hand. If she plays one, she can then use her coin to give it a boost, and then cast Mirror Image or Arcane Missile, and she's off to the races. But no, she's coining first, so she probably doesn't have one. Mad Bomber. Oh, that was a very effective Mad Bomber. It didn't go wrong at all for her. In that case, he's a 3-2, this is only a 1-2, and I can't make it any bigger. I'm just going to have to kill her, guys. I could have played my Croc, but then she would have control, right? I could hit for 1, she could use her guy to kill my Croc, and she'd be taking out a better minion than my poor beat-up Mana Worm with too few spells. I could cast it this turn if I still had the Mana Worm, but... wouldn't be a very good play. Like this early in the game is not helping me. So, against him, I could play this guy, who's a lot better than the River Croc. For like, he costs 1 more mana, but I have 3 mana, right? So it's kind of a waste of mana not to play him. Except that he could be useful later on. Whichever of them, they're both 2/3. Whichever I play against a 3/2. There's a good chance my opponent is going to kill them. An even better chance because she's a mage. She could have a 2-mana spell that kills them. So,
what to do?
This guy also, he's super good later if he can survive, but he's not going to survive against this. So I'm going to just try the River Croc. It has just as good a chance to survive as they do. Yeah, it's cheaper, and I'm losing the option of maybe playing 2 things on turn 5. But I'd rather this die, or hopefully take him out, than one of these guys who can be much more dangerous. No, he's just going to go for my face, I think. Yeah, he's gonna make me waste my attack killing this, because he knows that the Knife Juggler is a pretty high priority target. He is very random, but every time you play a minion, he does 1 extra point of damage to an enemy. Not random like the Mad Bomber, like you can't hit yourself with it, he won't hit his friendlies. It's only enemies, so he's quite good. And 3/2 for 2. Still very good stats. So, is there anything better I could do?
I wonder.
Well, I think the thing to do is still just kill him. Just don't want him around. I've taken a lot of damage already. Then I'm going to shoot this guy. And I'm wasting the power of my Crazed Alchemist because there's nothing in play to use it on, but I don't want to waste the time. I don't want to waste more mana, like not putting him out. I could have played one of these guys and not shot the 2-1, but that would be too risky. Like, I'd take damage on whichever one I use, and she'd finish it off. It's not even risky, it's guaranteed bad. So she's gonna... No, shoot me. I thought for a second she was gonna soften him up, so I couldn't fight that, but no, that's okay. So I could hit that, and then shoot it, and then she would shoot my guy, and then no one's getting anywhere, which maybe is my advantage at this point, because I'm so far behind on health. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that, actually, because I can shoot and still put out one of my 3-cost guys. And since she doesn't have a minion that can attack right now, I'm going to try the Worgen. I mean, she could have been saving a Frostbolt the whole time. I was trying to give her a chance to waste it on something not as good as him, but if she has a Frostbolt, he'd be the thing to Frostbolt. If I've run her out of early game cards, and this guy gets a chance and I can shoot this guy and hit her, oh man. Which may be the case, wow. Okay, how am I going to get rid of this guy? Because he's pretty darn dangerous too. So I could hit him for 3. My guy would gain Wind Fury, and I could just trade this guy for him. Because I would be able to attack for... Because he goes +1 attack and Wind Fury, and he can attack again. If I did that and then just attacked her, then she would shoot him next turn. That may be what I have to do because he's so dangerous. I don't have enough mana to do things the way I want to otherwise.
What to do?
Otherwise, 7 damage is going to be very hard for me to do. This guy only does 2. This guy only does 2. Shoots for 1. Yeah, if I just sacrifice this guy, go bam, bam, then I can still hit for 2 and play the Sunwalker. And she can't shoot my bubble and shoot this guy at the same time, so let's do that. So watch, he gets Wind Fury, and he can immediately attack again. Get there. And we'll play the Sunwalker. With my Sunwalker in place, I was on top of the world. To misquote Mr. Burns. But yes. So this is very good defensive. I mean, the Mage has a lot of solutions to it. She could polymorph it, which gets rid of all its text and its bubble and all that stuff. She can just shoot off the bubble if she has a way to kill it with damage. Or she can freeze it, I guess. Fair enough. It's still there, though. That hasn't reduced his defense. Freezing it doesn't stop it from being taunt. So, I'm okay with that. But, you know, you can silence your own guy to get rid of the Frozen. It'd be pretty dumb for me to silence her to get rid of the Frozen. If I had a way to, and I don't anyhow. So let's see. I could play him, but then I would have 2 taunt minions, and she could actually choose which one to attack. She wouldn't be able to attack this guy who doesn't have taunt. Taunt things have to get attacked first, but she would be able to attack whichever of these 2 was most advantageous for her. I don't really want that. Flame Strike's only 4 damage. It's not going to kill that thing. I might have to just... This is still pretty good defensive. I might have to just start attacking. I can Arcane Intellect and still play this guy, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to draw the cards first. If you can, if there's nothing you essentially have to do, it's good to draw cards first when you can. Is it worth polymorphing this thing? I'm going to risk not. I'm going to assume that she might have worse things that I want to polymorph later, because that guy's already used his battle cry. He's really just a 5/5 now. If he hits this, he's going to only have 1 hit point left, and I can just shoot him. I'm going to save the polymorph in case something really rough happens.
Glory to the Sindora!
Recording some Hearthstone. See, one of the things about Hearthstone is it doesn't have any way to set yourself do not disturb, which is pretty dumb, because it means no matter what you're doing, people can still send you messages. So stealing my bubble was pretty obnoxious. That's what this guy does. He takes all bubbles that are in play, sucks them all into himself, and converts each bubble into +3/+3, which can make him really huge. He can steal friendly bubbles, enemy bubbles. He can get frozen and it'll kill this guy. That's fairly appealing. That gives me more time to see what I want to polymorph for other things. I think I like that plan. You've been coned.
For honor.
Now this guy, I can also shoot him, trigger his enrage, and hit for 5 if she doesn't do anything about him. So I like the options he gives me. It might have been tempting to shoot this guy for 1, because then he'd be in Flame Strike range. Although next turn I'll have enough mana to Flame Strike and shoot. So if she plays a bunch of stuff, I can do that. Wow, that guy needs to be polymorph. Too large. Yes. Too large to complete the green. Or, I can Cone of Cold again, which is why Cone of Cold is obnoxious, because I can just keep wasting her time until I'm ready to deal with her guys. In fact, now, I think I want to shoot this one and get in some extra damage.
Bring it on. For honor.
And I'm going to cast the Ice Block since I have enough mana for it. Now, she has to worry about what secret I have. She doesn't know that it's an Ice Block, and there's nothing she can really do to trigger it other than hit me for 19. But she has to worry, is it a Brain Failure? Is it the Mirror Entity? Is it going to vaporize her Ogre when it attacks? Or she's going to cast her own secret, which is pretty obnoxious. So she's just determined it's not a counterspell, because secrets are spells. If mine was counterspell, it would have countered her secret. Interesting. Oh, Molten Giant is a very strong minion, right? Epic card. He's just an 8/8. He has no real abilities. His casting cost of 20, you may notice, is impossible. You only get 10 mana crystals. I don't think you'd be hard-pressed, even as a druid, to cast anything that costs more than 15 with mana, and that would be a really odd circumstance. But, since he costs 1 less for every damage your hero has taken, by the time you're down to 10, he's free, which is crazy. Free 8/8. Now, you're down to 10, so bad things can still happen to you. Let's see. If I Flame Strike now, it will kill this guy. It will badly weaken these other ones. It will use my Flame Strike, though. If that's a counterspell, I could be in trouble. But it could also be a Spellbender, where if I cast any spell that targets one minion, it'll create a 1/3 on her side that will take it. So if I tried to polymorph, I'd be polymorphing the stupid 1/3. If I cast a big buff spell on one of my guys, she'd steal it. Spellbender is pretty crazy. I really don't know what to do here. It's not going to be good either way. I want to first attack and find out if it's one of those secrets. It is not. Okay. I'm running out of time, so I'm going to try and polymorph this guy. It is counterspell. I'm going to polymorph him again. And I'm going to hit that and shoot it. Barely got it off in time. I don't know if that was a smart play, but you notice what happens. I start panicking because I'm barely able to get that in time. Like that, once that timer starts going, you've got to do something, and it's better if you can decide what you're going to do earlier. I'm talking to you, so it does take me a little bit longer.
I wonder.
I have a little bit more health, and I have a mysterious secret. She doesn't know where it is yet, but oh, that's not good. This guy I've got to kill first, because whenever any of her minions other than this guy dies, she draws a card. She kills the sheep, draws a card. That's horrible for me. If you can get so many cards out of that guy. He is fragile. If they all die at the same time, that doesn't trigger. Okay, so it has to be something that dies before him. So I am in a good place to Flame Strike, unless she has another counterspell. And she's feeling a little desperate because she just Cone of Colded a single not very powerful guy. It's not going to help that much, though. She was probably just checking to see if mine was a counterspell. I'm going to kill them all. Makes me very happy. And I could shoot her for 1, or I could play this guy and heal for 3. You know what? I don't think she's going to kill me this turn, because I know I have an ice block, and it's impossible. It's actually impossible for her to kill me in one turn. No matter how much damage she does or how much she spreads it out, as soon as I take lethal damage in, I'll be invincible for the rest of the turn. That doesn't mean if you know your opponent has an ice block, if you've tried everything else and you kind of figure, okay, no, the reason it hasn't triggered is because it's an ice block. You want to try and get them as low as possible before hitting them for that final amount. Don't hit them for 7 if you can hit them for something else or if I was at 7, she wouldn't want to hit me with this first. Okay, it doesn't matter if I was at 7. Whatever, just trust me. You want to trigger the ice block with as small a chunk of damage as possible because it prevents that last attack. So if I'm at 12 and she has a 7, and if she had a 3 and a 2 for a total of 12 damage, she'd want to hit me with the 7 first, and then the 3. I'd be down to 2 hit points. Then hit me with the 2 and that get prevented. Because guess what? Next turn, I'd still only have 2 hit points. If she did it in the wrong order, I could end up with 7 left. Okay. So, what am I going to do about him? He is very big. I might just want to fireball and shoot him, even though fireballing her would be nice. Can I kill her? I've got 2, 8, 9 damage is not going to kill her.
What to do?
I have a free turn from this, but no, I'm better off killing that guy. I've got to get rid of him. As much as I'd love to put this guy out. For 2. Thing is, I'm better off if I can keep control of the situation. While she had that guy out, who knows what else she could do to buff him or cause me other problems. Well, that's annoying, but not the end of the world. I still have more health, and this guy is going to be pretty good. Flame Strike, that's also going to be pretty good. I'm going to shoot her. On my turn, I'm probably going to want to shoot this guy so he hits for 5 instead of 2, but I'm not going to do that in advance. I'd much rather have him hit with his full 7 hit points until I find out what she does. Plus, if she polymorphs him, then my 1 damage to him would be wasted. So, might as well do it to her.
The frost wolves stand ready.
That's a pretty decent force you've got there, and I can't shoot both of them to finish them off with a Flame Strike. But you know what I can do? I can trigger this guy's enrage by hitting him. He does take a bunch of damage, but it gets rid of the bubble. Then I can shoot this guy. Now he's down to 4. Flame Strike. Doing my best here. It's much easier when we have so few cards. Next turn, if I don't have any way to win... Damn. It would have been really nice to avoid that. I didn't have a choice. But now I'm going to play him and shoot him to draw a card. He'll probably draw another card whenever she does something to him, but that's okay.
Let the pain speak to me.
Because right now, we both have 1 card, we both have low life. Whoever has the most cards is going to be in the best position. And look at that. Mirror Entity. Now, if she plays a minion, I get a minion. That's awesome. I'm going to play this guy, too. I don't see the point in saving him in my hand. If she has an area spell, she can get a free kill out of it. It's a risk I gotta take, because she only has 9 hit points. This is doing at least 3 damage for me, counting the buff to this guy. Oh, that was a really rough... She totally wasted my Mirror Entity, because Mirror Entity doesn't give you the battle cry, and this is a piece of junk that is only good for the battle cry. So, this was a great counter to my Mirror Entity. And now she has a secret, and I don't know what it is. Damn it. Okay, well, I'm going to play this guy and see if hers is a Mirror Entity.
Handle it.
Nope. So he's just going to buff all my forces. If that's a Vaporize, it would kill whatever attacks her. I don't really want that, because I want this guy to die in a way that involves him taking more damage and drawing more cards for me. So I'm going to attack with this. It's an Ice Barrier. Okay, it's going to give her more hit points. That's a lot more hit points, considering how close we are. But that's okay. Then, it's tempting to attack this with him, because he'd kill her and draw me a card. But I'm going to shoot something anyway. I'm either going to shoot him to draw a card, or I'm going to shoot her. Shooting her does 1 damage, but hitting her with this guy does 3. So, whatever. Do that. Actually, I talked myself into a stupid place. Because now I can't shoot him to draw a card, which I still have lots of mana left. I should have done that. But what I was thinking was I'm going to shoot and kill this. If I'm going to kill it either way, then I might as well shoot it that way. But I could have drawn another card, so... Could have handled that better. It's weird that my army's all buffing each other. If one guy dies, they're going to get much weaker. Stop with the secrets! Oh my god! It's getting annoying. Can't lie, it's becoming annoying. Mirror image, that'll be good if something happens and blows up all my guys. First, I'm going to shoot him and draw a card. Send me those cards. That'll heal all my guys, including healing him for 2, which is pretty awesome. So, I want to find out if that's a mirror entity. It doesn't really matter, I guess. I'm going to have to do this anyway. Alright, I'm going to play her and find out. Is there a mirror entity? Probably. Yes, it is. Damn it. She doesn't get the battle cry, but yeah, now I've got to deal with that stupid thing. I do have the mirror image to block it, though. So I can hit for 9. You know what? I should actually just hit her for 9. Let her worry about this. And do I play the mirror image or not? The mirror image could protect some of my stuff, but if she gets an area spell, like if she draws a flame strike, she's going to basically kill all my stuff, and then what'll I have? Nothing. I'd rather save the mirror image for that. I only need to do 2 damage. I have the ice block. It should be almost impossible to stop me, but I'm just going to save this just in case. Flame strike and shoot this would be really rough, but I'm still going to kill her in 2 turns, and what's she going to stop me with the ice block? She actually needs the healing more than anything else. Yeah, that's not going to help. Yeah, she knows she's lost. She's just, like, playing around. Alright. That was a bit of a freaky game. I don't know how much basic tutorial I'm getting in here in this video, but I'm trying. Thing is, I've explained more things since during this basic series. It gets harder and harder to know what I still need to be explaining. But yeah, those are all the mage secrets. When you're playing against a mage, you want to know what they are. And they're ice block, which is only going to trigger when they die. So it's kind of like a fake out secret if they play it early in the game, because you're going to keep wondering what their secret is until you've tried everything. There's the frost armor, which if a minion hits the mage, they gain 8 armor. Then they take damage from the minion. It doesn't stop it or anything. Then there's vaporize. If a minion would hit the mage, it gets vaporized before it deals its damage. It actually just gets destroyed. Flat out. No matter what it is. So that's pretty rough. Although it would still trigger if it had a death rattle. Then there's the mirror entity, which we saw. I mean, it copies the next thing they play. If they can play a small minion first, they can draw it out. They can, like, waste it and then play a better minion. But the fact that it exists forces you to play differently. When your opponent plays a secret against you as a mage, you have to think about that. How bad is it going to be if they get a copy of this minion? The other ones they have, there's the counter spell, which we saw, which will counter pretty much anything that's not a minion. Apparently I'm a bad teacher here because I can't remember if weapons count as spells. I think weapons count as spells. I think it's everything that's not a minion counts as a spell, basically. So I think the counter spell would actually counter a weapon as well. Then there's the Spellbender, which is really obnoxious. It's an epic card, so you don't see it as much in the arena. It'll only trigger on spells that are targeting a single minion. Now, if I fireball the mage directly, because I'm not targeting a minion, it won't trigger the Spellbender, even though it can target a minion. It doesn't matter. It wasn't, so it doesn't trigger it. But if I cast a fireball on a minion, the Spellbender will create a 1/3, and then I'll be fireballing a stupid 1/3 instead of the thing I wanted to kill. When you fireball something, you really want that thing to die. But it works on positive spells too. So when a paladin casts Blessing of Kings, like give a minion +4/+4, and oops, it was a Spellbender, and it steals +4/+4. So not only do you not get your +4/+4 that you were counting on, you were about to attack with it, but now your opponent got a 5/7 minion. You're like, what was that? It's insane. So They're all of those. Those are all the mage secrets. They're pretty strong. Am I forgetting one? I feel like I'm forgetting one. But no, we got Ice Block, Frost Armor, Counterspell, Spellbender, Vaporize. Hold on. I'm going to double check. Because I have a little thing. I should put a link to it in the comments if I remember. There's a page that somebody was kind enough to make that has them all. And, oh, Mirror Entity, that's the one I forgot just when I was listing it. Okay, yeah, that's all the mage secrets, and I'll try and deal with secrets from other classes later. I'll try and remember to leave that link, though, because it's really good. Just, until you learn all the secrets, you want to be able to just, hopefully you have 2 monitors, or you can tab out and just check, like, what are all the secrets of that class? There's a great image that you can find that'll show you. Until you learn them, you want to know, because you have that, it's like a mini-game. It's like, you gotta find out what their secret is, because if you just play without knowing what they can do to you, that hunter or that mage is gonna mess you up. And maybe the paladin, but it's harder for them, because they don't have as many good secrets. Anyway, we'll see how much further I can get next time. If you enjoyed this, please activate the like button. And don't forget to subscribe to Demonet Games for more Hearthstone Arena and other gaming videos.